Are you looking for a Class C RV just for the two of you? Well, stick around, folks. We found some awesome Class C RVs, perfect for couples. Hey everybody, Mike from RVBlogger here in front of the camera, and Susan's behind the camera. And if you've seen us before on YouTube, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time seeing us, welcome aboard. Susan and I drive all around the country visiting RV dealerships and RV shows to shoot our tours of RVs and bring them right to you in the comfort of wherever you happen to be. But we also invite you to join our private Facebook group called RV Camping for Newbies. And it's not just for newbies, it's anybody that wants to learn more about RV camping and interact with their fellow campers, to learn more about great campgrounds, maybe recipes, tips, tricks, and hacks to be a better RVer. And when you sign up to join the group, if you leave your email address, you'll also receive our weekly newsletters, which are full of great information and videos and big discounts to some of the best RV products and services on the market today. And we use all of these products and services, or we would not recommend them to you. But without any further ado, let's get started on our review of awesome Class C RVs for couples. This Class C RV is the Thor Four Winds model number 19Z. It has a gross vehicle weight rating of 11,500 pounds, a cargo carry capacity of 2,745 pounds, and a gross combined weight rating of 18,500 pounds. The hitch weight on this RV is a very impressive 8,000 pounds. It measures in at 20 feet, 5 inches long, and it can sleep up to 4 people. The gray tank capacity is 17 gallons, the black tank is 16 gallons, and the freshwater tank capacity is 20.5 gallons. When you first walk into this Class C RV, on the right-hand side is the driver's cab and over cab. Then we wrap on around past the bathroom into the kitchen, dinette, living, and sleeping area. Now, when Susan and I first walked into this Class C RV, I have to admit it was a bit of a walk down memory lane for us, because this Class C is only 20 feet 5 inches long, and the first time we ever stayed in a Class C RV together was, or at all for that matter, is when we rented a 19-foot Class C RV for a 10-day trip to California, which, by the way, is what changed our lives and the whole reason why we started RVBlogger. But this is an awesome camper because it is so short, it's nimble, it's got everything you need in it, and you can go anywhere in this thing. We loved driving around California for 10 days in our 19-footer. We got to go all kinds of places that larger rigs couldn't go. So it's a really great option to consider. Now, up front here, you'll notice that we are sitting on a Ford chassis here. The Ford chassis are very nice. You know, this is their basic design. It's got the built-in touchscreen up front. Both of the seats up front are nice and comfy. The driver's seat does fully extend before it hits the wall for the bathroom in here, which we'll take a look at the end of this tour. But everything's nice and comfortable and accessible up front here. There's also cup holders, plenty of nooks and crannies to store all kinds of, I don't know, pens, pencils, whatever you need up front, chapstick, gum, all the junk you need while you're traveling down the road. Now, up top here in the overcab area, this is a really nice big bed because it extends all the way from one side to the other. And let's see how big this bed is here. And this thing is 91 inches wide. So that's 7 feet, 7 inches wide. And the depth in here is about 52 inches. So 2 adults could very easily sleep up here, certainly a couple of kids. I think if we were gonna stay in this camper, we would just sleep up here and leave the dinette in the dinette position, but I'll show you more about that when we get to the back of the camper and we take a look at the kitchen and dinette area. But 2 people could easily sleep up here. Certainly you could get a couple of kids up here. On the one end here, you've got your TV, which is on a nice big swing arm, so you can watch TV while you're lying in bed at night, or you can swing it out and watch TV from your dinette area while you're having a meal. So that's very convenient. On the other end of the bed, which is the head end of the bed, you've got a window here, you have a light over top, you've got electrical receptacles and USB ports. You've also got a couple of cup holders, and then towards the very front of the cab, there's just a little shelf there where you can stow away some of your clothing and things like that. As far as headroom in this area, I mean, at the widest part, whoa, my tape measure is out of control. It is about 24 inches. And then of course that narrows down the further that you move towards the front of the RV. Now over top of the entry door is where you've got a nice little cabinet located up above. This is very common in almost every Class C RV. They have a cabinet over the door. It's a great spot to store things that you need while you're heading in and out of your RV. We keep things like flashlights, bug spray, rain ponchos, lighters, all that kind of stuff that you might need as you're heading on out the door to go outside. Beyond that, here you've got all your controls on the side of the cabinet here, and then once you're into the kitchen, you've got this nice big storage cabinet here. They have a fixed shelf up here. The cabinets are nice. I mean, they have this glass inlay that just makes them look a little bit nicer, and they've got this, painted gray finish on here. It just looks very, very nice and upscale, really. Then you've got a convection style microwave here, and for you guys that are a little bit scared of a convection microwave, we have one in our Class A RV. I have mastered it. It's super easy to use. We bake pizzas and cookies and warm things up in the convection oven as well as using it as a microwave. So it's a great feature because it saves space. Now you don't need a separate oven underneath of your cooktop. You have both in one appliance. Down below that we have our range hood. There's also a light underneath of here, and there's a receptacle here in case you need to plug anything in from the countertop area. Down below that, we've got this nice big window here over top of your cooktop and sink. Speaking of your cooktop, we have a 2-burner propane stove in here. I love the fact that they did a front to back burner setup here because it gives you more countertop space on both sides of the cooktop. So I think that's really well done. The sink in here is a nice square sink. It could be a little bit deeper, but nonetheless, it's a decent size for this size RV. And then you have a nice faucet overhead with a separate or integral sprayer, whatever you'd like to call that. Now on the side of this countertop, if you need even more countertop space, they do have an extend-a-top here. There is a receptacle next to it there. So if you want to set up, a blender with margaritas or a coffee pot or whatever, you can easily do that. Down below the kitchen sink, there is additional storage, and also below the cooktop, we've got these full extension drawers. Now, just across from the kitchen countertop is where your refrigerator is located. This is a great size refrigerator for this small camper. I mean, it's got plenty of room for you to store ice up in the freezer and pizzas and other things as well. Down below, plenty of room for all your cold storage. Next to that here, we've got a mirrored wardrobe cabinet. There is a bar at the top so you can hang your garments in there. And there's still room below that to store additional items. And then below, you've got a couple of drawers here that are nice and deep, full extension drawers as well. Now in the back of this rig, we roll right into where your dinette is. And I would say you could sit 3 people in here that could eat at the table very comfortably. If you had a 4th person, you could always bring a camp chair inside and sit it here, and then 4 people would be able to eat at this dinette. And really this dinette serves as a few things. First of all, it is your dinette area. Second of all, it's kind of your living room area. And we pointed out the TV at the beginning of this video that you can use the swing arm, and then you could sit here, lounge very comfortably and relax, extend your legs on the dinette booth and watch TV. So it's a really good setup for that. So it's your dinette and it's also your living space. And then the dinette itself also can convert into a bed. And all you would do is drop the table down and then rearrange the cushions to make a nice big bed back here. And if you did that, you would end up with a bed. It's really pretty big. It would be, we'll call it 76 inches. And then the width on it is going to be about 54 inches wide. So it's a short, full-size bed in here. And so 2 adults could sleep back here. Certainly a couple of kids could also sleep back here very, very easily if you convert your dinette into a bed space. Now you'll notice over top here that we've got storage cabinets all the way around. 2 of them on the ends have mesh cargo netting to hold things in place, and in the back here they come with these nice cabinet doors to hold things in place. Underneath on each side there are receptacles, and there are also lights that turn on and off at location. So if this is your bed and you want to use them as a reading light, you can. You've also got plenty of outlets and things to plug any electrical devices overnight. On the far end of the dinette, there's an electrical outlet there as well as a couple of USB ports, so you're really all set. And also on both sides, you'll note there's like a little bit of a countertop area on each end of the dinette, which features a couple of cup holders here, a window on each side, and a big window on the back. So it feels really nice and bright and roomy in here for sure. So this dinette, I think if we were to use this as our own camper, we'd probably just sleep up in the overcab, leave the dinette as is because it's just me and Susan cruising around together. But if you had kids, then you could take your dinette and convert it into a bed every evening, or if somebody comes to visit, you've got a space for 2 more people in here. So it's a really great multifunctional setup in here, which is what you need in a small Class C RV. Let's take a look at the bathroom next. Now here I am standing in the bathroom, which is right in the middle of this coach. So you would probably consider this a mid-bath because it sits in the middle of the RV. Now this is what's considered a wet bathroom. And for you folks that don't know what a wet bath is, if Susan, you'll shine the camera down here, you'll notice that the toilet sits right in on the shower floor. So when you take a shower in here, the toilet's going to get all wet, the floor is going to get all wet, and everything drains down your shower here. These are great options, especially in a smaller camper like this, because they can get the shower, the toilet, and the sink all in a very, very small space, which is terrific because you don't have enough room to have a separate shower stall in here. The downside is you don't have a separate shower stall, so after you take a shower, you need to dry off your toilet and stuff and the floor, because if somebody wants to come in here and use the bathroom to go to the bathroom, you don't want everything being wet after you take a shower. Also, if you're not parked perfectly level, you might end up with water pooling in the shower base on the wrong end, not near the drain. And so that's another thing to consider with a wet bath. We camped in one before in that 19-footer that we were in for 10 days, and we discovered that wasn't for us. But if you're looking for a really small and compact RV, this is really a great setup, and it uses as little space as possible. And it's got all 3 elements in here, a shower, a toilet, and a sink, so it's really terrific. Now, once you're in here, this is your detachable shower wand, which does detach, I can assure you, but we're at a show right now, and I have a feeling they have this. There you go. That was really, really hard. But anyway, it does detach, so it's easy to take a shower in here. You could even sit on the toilet if you got a bad knee or something and you need to sit down while you're taking a shower. You could easily do that as well. There is a little medicine cabinet in here, so you can store some of your personal items behind the mirror. There is a corner style sink in here. And then, of course, they've got a pretty nice surround in here. Now, there's no place to really put shampoo, conditioner, soap, or things like that. There are no corner shelves or anything in here. We have a wall-mounted soap dispenser in our Class A RV, and we mount it like right on the front of the shower. It holds my shampoo, our soap, and then Susan's shampoo and her conditioner. So it's 4 different things in one container, really. It keeps things up and out of the way. I'll put a link in the show notes down below if you'd like to check out the one that we have. We've had it for years, both at home, in our house, and in our Class A RV, and we love it. Also in here, you'll note, how does water not go out the door while you're taking a shower? There's a little curtain in here that's on a track, and so when you're in here and you close the bathroom door, you would slide this in front of the door, and that keeps all the water in the bathroom so it doesn't leak out through the doorway into your kitchen. And one last thing in here is that your toilet paper holder comes with a cover on it, so when you're taking a shower, your TP doesn't get all wet. Now, let me get a measurement in here as far as height goes, because you guys know I'm 5'11". Now, they put a super tall skylight in here. Very impressive. It's going to really help the headroom out. I mean, for you taller guys, there is 6 feet 10 inches of space in the shower, and the ceiling height in the entire RV is also 6 feet, what is that, 6 feet 8 inches. So for you taller guys, you know, I think this might be a decent option for you. And finally, when I'm sitting on the commode, not really going to be able to pass the elbow test in here, but I'm in a wet bath, so what do you expect? Here we are outside this Class C RV, and there is a small storage compartment right next to the entry door. And then at the very back of this RV, underneath of the dinette, you've got this large pass-through storage compartment as well. It also has lights. Another great feature on this RV is the outside shower. This Class C RV is the Entegra Condor model number 22T. It has a gross vehicle weight rating of 11,000 pounds, a cargo carry capacity of 1,531 pounds, and a gross combined weight rating of 15,000 pounds. It measures in at 23 feet 5 inches long, and it can sleep up to 2 people. The gray tank capacity is 51 gallons. The black tank is 5 gallons, but that's because it's a cassette toilet, and the freshwater tank holds 53 gallons. When you first walk into this RV, on the right-hand side is where the driver's cab is located. Then we wrap on around through the kitchen area. Finally, we pass the bathroom, and in the back of this rig is where the bedroom is located. Now, our first impression when we walk into this RV is this a B plus or a C? We don't really know. There's a couple reasons for that. First of all, there's no overcab area up top that includes a bunk like your classic Class C RV has, right? They got that big overcab that goes over the driver's cab, and there's a big bed up there, but not in this one. And also, this particular model does not sit on a pickup truck chassis. This sits on a van chassis. In fact, it sits on a Ford Transit van chassis. It's the 350 HD with EcoBoost. It's all-wheel drive, so it's a mighty fine chassis at that, but it's not a pickup truck chassis. So is it really a C, or is it more of a B plus? Now, the manufacturer calls it a C, but in our minds, B plus. I don't know. I guess you can go either way with it. Either way, it's a fantastic rig, and we'll go ahead and walk through it now and check it all out. Now, starting up front here, Ford has done a really nice job picking up on the design of their chassis. It just looks more modern, more sleek. These chairs are really, really nice, all leather appointed. The screen up front is a very large screen for your GPS and all of your other apps that you would have running down the road. So it's got a really nice feel to it when you're sitting up front. And I was sitting in these bucket seats earlier, and they're very, very nice and comfy. I think you would be fine on a long drive to your campground, and very comfortable doing so. Now, over top of the driver's cab, there is not the big bed like you would traditionally see in a Class C RV. Instead, we've got some open storage on each side, and it's not very deep at all. It just goes right to here, so maybe a foot back or so. And then you've got the TV location up here, which is a fine spot for this, right? You can see it from your dinette table, and it seems to be in a pretty good location. Now, one other thing I want to point out up here is it does have a skylight here, so it can make it nice and bright inside, and the cover that comes with it has a little bit of insulating properties to it, so it'll keep you nice and cool. But there are magnets in here, so when you put it up, the magnets stick, and there you go, your cover stays in place. It's one of the best covers we've seen so far. Many times the covers fit inside of the vent or inside of the skylight, and it seems like one corner or another always pops down. But this is a pretty cool design. We really, really like that. Now, just behind the driver's seat is where the dinette is located. And this dinette table just sits on a single pedestal, and it can slide in and out. So you can get in here, and then you can sort of pull your table into place. The dinette itself really can only seat 2 people. And I know if Susan and I were sitting here, you can't see it, but my knee is under the table right about here. And she and I would be fighting for knee space under here. I can tell you that right now, and she would probably win. But anyway, here we are. This is a pretty comfy setup for a dinette. It's in a great location to watch the TV, like I mentioned. It's got this nice big oversized window behind me here. And these windows are really, really nice. They fold on out, and they pop on in, and you just put them out, you hear them click, and then they'll stay in that position. And then the shades for these, the top one is a screen so you can keep the bugs out, and then the bottom one is your nightshade. So either way, you can stay either no light or no bugs, and you're in really great shape. Now, one other feature on the dinette that I like to point out is that you can get a car seat in here because it does have a tether for that, but this is really more of a couple's camper. I don't really know where the third person would sleep in here unless they sleep in bed with you in the back, because the dinette does not convert into a bed. Now, there's also a storage cabinet above me here, and these doors pop right out, and they have the hardware to hold the door open, so you can use both hands to access things a little easier than if the door closes And the other thing is there's a couple of lights under here as well, so you can light up your dinette table. And then finally, under the dinette, there is a receptacle and some USB ports as well. So if you're sitting here answering emails or doing trip planning or whatever, you can easily do that and plug in while you're doing it. Now, speaking of trip planning, I do want to bring something up really quick. We do all of our trip planning with RV Trip Wizard. Now, RV Trip Wizard is a fantastic tool that you can use to look up all kinds of campgrounds all around the country, state parks, national parks, private campgrounds, KOAs, you name it, they got it on there. You can also find amazing points of interest, including everything from gas stations to Walmarts to vets to grocery stores. You name it, it's on there. You can plan your trip very, very easily on your computer. And then once you have your trip planned, you use your cell phone, which you get a free app when you get RV Trip Wizard, and then you can use your cell phone as your GPS. The trip seamlessly goes through to the GPS. Set it up front on when you're driving down the road, and you can get where you're going with RV safe roads and directions. And I say RV safe because when you set up RV Trip Wizard, you enter all of your RV information, including weight and height, so it won't take you on roads your RV can't go down. Now, Susan and I use it almost every single day. We certainly use it every single travel day, and we highly recommend it. And if you'd like to save 30% on RV Trip Wizard, just email me at mike@rvblogger.com, and I'll send you a coupon code so you can get it for 30% off. Now, right across from the dinette booth is where the main part of the kitchen is located. This is an inline kitchen. It's very efficient, and it uses the least amount of space possible because everything's right in line. So starting up top here, you've got this nice big cabinet here to store some items away. And then it comes with a convection microwave oven. We have one of these in our Class A RV and absolutely love it. You can bake pizzas or you can microwave things, and it's a great space saver because it's a 2-in-1 and it works really, really well. Now down below, this is really interesting, and Susan really likes this. She thinks this is very, very smart. They do have an induction cooktop here, but it's removable, right? It just sits on the counter, so you can stow it away when you don't need it, and now you've got all this countertop space here. Or you can also use it outside if you don't want to be cooking inside, and so that's a really nice feature to have. Now, there is one thing to know about induction cooktops. You need to use the right pots and pans that are labeled as induction safe for cooking. Otherwise, the pan will not warm up properly. So just be aware of that if you have induction cooktops in your rig. Just one more thing to think about. Next to that, we have this really large round bowl sink in here. It's very deep and it's a good size. It's got this gooseneck faucet overhead with an integral sprayer. We have a same round bowl in our Class C RV. We have two RVs if you don't know that. We have a Class C and a Class A. And we have the same kind of sink, and it works really, really well for us. And it's about this size as well. Now down below, there's additional storage below the kitchen sink. And then you've got a few drawers over here for all of your kitchen utensils. Just across from that, you've got a little pantry cabinet here with 2 shelves built in there so you can store all of your dry goods. Now, just beyond where the cooktop and the microwave are located is where your refrigerator is located. This fridge is very skinny, and it needs to be because this rig is only about 23 feet long, so a skinny fridge is certainly necessary, but it's got plenty of shelves and drawers for all of your cold storage, and then it's got a little separate freezer up top here so you can keep some ice nice and cold. It's not very big. It's mainly meant for weekend camping or things like that, but it's certainly enough space to get you through. And then over top of that, this is where the induction cooktop is stowed up here, or you can also use this for just additional storage of whatever you would like. Now we're back here in the bedroom, which is located in the very back of this rig, and it's really raised up pretty high. I mean, if I'm standing up, you know, you can see like those beds are above my waistline, so it's pretty high up in the air, and I'll show you why that is when we go outside in just a few minutes. But in here, you have a couple of different options, right? You can have twin beds back here, so one person sleeps on each side, or you can scooch this pillow around that goes in between, and that gives you one big giant bed back here. So let's get a couple measurements real quick and see what we have. Now, if you keep it in the twin bed position, each bed is going to be about 76 inches and about 29 inches wide. So that's enough room for two adults to be able to sleep back here pretty comfortably. And then if you put this in place, you can see that very well. I just crashed my back, but it gives you one nice big bed back here. We already know it's 76 inches deep, and then the width on this is, gosh, 81 inches wide. So it's a pretty good size bed back here. You could get two adults back here and maybe like a kid in the middle or something like that. But I really feel like this is more of a couple's kind of Class C than a family rig, for example. Now, in addition to how the beds lay out back here, there is some storage underneath here. There's a cabinet on each side for storage, and then there are two drawers on each side as well. So you get plenty of place to put your clothes away while you're away on your camping adventures. Now, overhead of me and behind me here, there are also some more cabinets along the back wall. And I'm not positive about this because I can't get a signal to check it out, but there is Starlink that is installed in this unit. I'm not sure if it's just particular to this unit or if Starlink's included with every one, but if you negotiate a good deal, I bet you can get it for free even if it's not included. So always negotiate. Ask for the most, see what you can get when you're buying a new RV. A couple of other nice features back here in the bedroom are there are three really large windows back here, so you can open all of them up, get plenty of air back here and be really super comfortable. And there are plenty of lights back here as well, so it'll light up very nicely for you. There's also a reading light on each side back here. There's also a shelf up here, so if you need to plug in using your USBs and receptacles, which are located on each side of the bed, you could take your phone, set it up here on the shelf, and that way it's out of the way while it charges overnight. One last thing to note in the bedroom is where the TV location is. It's on the wall right beyond the refrigerator. There's a receptacle and a cable outlet there, and it's a perfect spot to mount your TV. Now here I am inside the shower and inside the bathroom, and I'm standing up here in what is called a wet bath. And what a wet bath is that the shower floor and the toilet sit on the same floor. So when you take a shower in here, your toilet's going to get all wet, and when you're done taking your shower, you're going to need to dry the floor and the toilet before someone else can come in here and actually use the bathroom if they'd like to. It's one of the big drawbacks of a wet bath. One of the big positives of a wet bath is that it does save space, and in a small Class C RV like this, you need all the space that you can get. But all that being said, as far as wet baths go, this is actually one of the bigger wet baths that I've ever been in. It's very comfortable for me to stand in here. Now, the size of this shower, here, there's just a lot of space, and so I feel very comfortable. 28 inches deep, and then the whole bathroom, including where the toilet is about 41 inches long. So like I said, it's really a decent amount of space in here. And as far as ceiling height goes, when you're standing inside the shower, ceiling height is about 75 inches, which is 6 feet 3 inches tall. And then the regular height from the RV floor up to the ceiling is 80 inches, which is about, what's that, 6 feet 6 inches of space, or 8 inches, 6 feet 8 inches of space. So good ceiling height inside of here. There's also a little string that you can pull across and connect over here, and then if you have wet towels or washcloths, you can hang them up in here so they will dry out. So that's a nice feature too. Also, you have your shower wand here, which is removable. So that's very, very convenient. And then you even have a window inside your bathroom, which is highly unusual. We normally don't see that. Usually there's a fan in here, which this one also has, but it also helps you get more light in your bathroom, and you can open the window. Very, very nice feature. On this side of the bathroom behind me, that's where there is a little medicine cabinet that opens up. You can store some of your personal items in there. There are also a couple of corner shelves here for your shampoo, conditioner, soaps, things like that. And the sink in here is a neat design. It's kind of like an airplane style sink. You just lower it on down, and then here's your faucet, and this side of the faucet turns the water on and off. Now as water drains in here into the sink, it goes out this little spout and pours down into the drain. So it's a pretty cool setup, so that you don't end up with your sink overflowing. The water will just pour out the back of that and go down into the drain area. But it's a great space saver. And then the toilet in here is a cassette toilet. And so outside of the RV on the side, you would remove the cassette, take that to, the bathhouse in your campground, for example, and just dump it into a toilet and flush it away, and then reinsert the cassette, and you're good to go. Now, as far as the elbow test goes in here, I'm not going to pass that. There's just no way I'm going to pass that inside of a wet bath. But all that being said, it feels rather large and roomy inside here. And one last thing I'd like to point out, you guys know that I hate shower curtains, and this particular bathroom has a retractable shower door. I am so happy to see this. They work great, keep the water out, keep the curtain from coming in on you when you're taking a shower because they're all held in place, and then it just rolls right out away, and there you go. Now, a couple of other nice features with this unit are outside here, and one of them is the fact that you do have a 2-burner propane cooktop outside here, which is fantastic if you don't want to cook inside. And then below that, you've got a Dometic electric cooler, which will keep all your sodas and, cold items nice and chilly outside for you. Now, inside, I also mentioned that the whole back of the bed is raised up very, very high, and that's because they have this huge storage area back here. Now, this storage area can be accessed from 3 different doors, one on each side and one big door on the back. And so whatever you stow away in here, you can easily get to everything from one of these 3 doors. There's also cargo netting overhead. Each door also has a grid pattern metal thing on it, so you can stow things on there, and even on the back wall of this storage unit, you can hang things there as well. There's also a light on each side, so you can light things up while you're reaching in here. And finally, there's a ladder back here, so if you do need to get onto your roof, you have a ladder to be able to get up there. This Class C RV is the Winnebago View, model number 24T. It has a gross vehicle weight rating of 11,030 pounds, a cargo carry capacity of 692 pounds, and a gross combined weight rating of 15,250 pounds. The tow capacity is 5,000 pounds. It measures in at 25 feet, 8 inches long, and it can sleep 2 or 3 people. The gray tank capacity is 46 gallons, the black tank is 47 gallons, and the freshwater tank is 30 gallons. When you first walk into this Class C RV, on your right-hand side is where the driver's cab is located. Then we wrap on around through the living and bedroom area, past your kitchen area and dinette, and then behind me here is where your bathroom is located. Now, our first impression when we walk into this Class C RV is that it's really nice and spacious in here. In fact, our friends Howard and Caitlin Newstate from the Newstate Nomads have been traveling around in this very model for a few months, and they have 3 dogs with them as well. So they all managed to fit in here and make the most of the space. But starting up front here, this is where the driver's cab is located. Now, this sits on a Mercedes chassis, so right away you're going to get a very high quality Class C RV. Both of the seats do swivel around and face back into the RV, and when they swivel around, they give you these little seat cushions that sit on top of your regular seats here, so that you're sitting higher up. Boy, that's pretty squishy. You're sitting higher up when you face back into the RV. If this wasn't here, I'd be sitting way down here almost on the floor. So it does make a really nice difference having this seat cushion here. Also, the driver's seat is very, very comfortable. It's just got a really nice high quality feel to it as well, which you'd expect on a Mercedes chassis. Now, above me here, there's a couple of ways that you can do this. The way that they're showing it in this particular model is that they have these 2 doors here, and then it just gives you a lot of storage space up top. But there is an option where you can actually have a larger overcab like you would find in a traditional Class C RV, and there's a queen size bed that would go up top of here. So if you need a Class C RV that can sleep 4 people instead of 2, then you could choose that option on this model. It does weigh a little bit more, but you get to sleep 4 people in here instead of 2. Now, a couple of other really nice little features is that they have 3 of these little pocket areas, 2 on this side and another over here. So you can just store a few things in those areas as well. And then finally, we come to the sofa and your bedroom area. Now, this particular sofa is really nice and comfortable. I mean, you can leave it in this position and you could sit next to your partner that way, or get 3 people sitting here pretty comfortably. The TV is straight across from here, so that's in a good location. You can pull down this middle piece, and then you've got a couple of cup holders here, and these guys light up. There's also a little USB port on the back of each of them, so if you wanted to plug in your phone or whatever while you're sitting here and relaxing or working, you can do that. Also, on each side of the sofa, there's also an outlet, electrical outlet that you can plug into, and USB and C ports there as well. Above me here, there are a couple of lights that are here, so it does light up the area very, very nicely for you. And these seats are very, very comfortable. And on the side of the cushion here, you have a couple of buttons, and you just click on one of them and you can go all the way back to a nice reclined seating position. These are actually pretty comfortable. The backs on them are a little bit short in my opinion, like my head is kind of hitting the bed back here if I'm sitting all the way up with my butt towards the crease of the seat. But if I slouch a bit, which is how I normally do it, I'm perfectly comfortable. And it's really nice and comfy in here. So I like the seats that are in here. Now, you've already noticed behind me here is the Murphy bed. You know, and one of the nice things about a Murphy bed setup is that it makes this area multifunctional, right? You use it as your living area, but then during the daytime, and then at night, you can put down your Murphy bed for your sleeping area. And that's really, really easy to do. The first thing you do is just pull these little legs out until they click. You'll hear them click in place. And then just lower these down very, very simply. And then there's a button over here next to the TV. And I'll go ahead and hit that. And the bed just lowers right down into position. And there you go. You've got your Murphy bed right in position. Now, the great thing about this kind of Murphy bed is that it is mostly all one big mattress. There is a little section of mattress up here underneath of where your head would go. You kind of have to, you know, with all this packing on here, it doesn't really work well because the plastic is slippery. So this little top section of mattress isn't really going down like it normally would. But you can put your sheets on this mattress, and as long as everything's tucked in, you can put the mattress back up into position with everything on it, and that way you don't have to make and unmake your bed every time you put up and down the Murphy bed. So that's a great feature. The other nice feature about this particular Murphy bed is that it doesn't have a break in the middle of the mattress, which makes that type of bed very, very uncomfortable. What we find is that when you're laying on a Murphy bed, if the break in the mattress is in the middle and it's like underneath your back or your hips, that would be a very, very uncomfortable feeling. Other Murphy beds have the break a third of the way up, might be like under your knees. That's fine. You won't even notice that. This one has the break way up here at the top, and your pillow is going to be here, so you'll never notice that at all. You'll be comfortable when you're sleeping at night, and so this Murphy bed is really a great setup, in my opinion. Now, above here, we've got a couple of storage cabinets that are nice and big. And they've also got this accent lighting over top, which you can see from outside the cabinets, but it also lights the inside of the cabinets a little bit. So that's a really nice feature as well, so you can see in there. And then we've got these reading lights here, turn on and off right at the location. And then we have a nice window over top, which again, I don't know why we have a window over top of a Murphy bed. You can't use the window during the daytime when the bed's up, and I don't think anybody really wants a window at night unless you want to get a nice cross breeze in here and not run your air conditioning, which is always my preference. But That's why it's here. So you can get that cross breeze, because right across from here is another big window. And so it's really set up well in that regard. Now, just across from the couch and the Murphy bed is where the TV is located. And again, it's in the perfect position, whether you're reclining on your sofa or laying in bed at night. Boom, it's in a great spot. It even has a sound bar that comes with it, so you get an excellent sound quality. Now, next to the TV, you've got a nice storage cabinet on this side, and on the other side is where you've got a lot of your control panels, like the controls for the Murphy bed. The slide out mechanisms are in here. You've got a DVD player here, and then you can even hook up other electronics in here if you'd like to. And below that, your panel is here for all of your controls throughout the entire RV, so that's in a good convenient spot. And then we have this nice big window here. Now, these windows are a Euro style dual pane acrylic window. So there's one pane on the inside, another pane on the outside. So it'll help keep you warmer in the winter time and cooler in the summertime. But these are fantastic windows. Up top here, you would lower down your bug shade or your bug screen. And then from the bottom is where you would lift up your privacy screen. Down below that is where your dinette is located. Now, the dinette that's in here is very, very convenient. It's got a couple of folding chairs. We've got one in place in the stowed position. And then I just set one up out here. And, you know, they're pretty comfy chairs. And so, you know, two people could easily set up here, eat a meal, play some cards, play some board games, get some work done, do a little trip planning. Speaking of trip planning, if you like to do your trip planning on the computer, I highly recommend RV Trip Wizard. It is the best trip planning tool we have ever found. We use it almost every single day ourselves, certainly every single day we're on the road. A couple of really nice features about RV Trip Wizard are, number one, it shows all the Harvest Host locations around the country now. So it's got Harvest Host, Boondockers Welcome, plus all their golf course locations, as well as all of the campgrounds you can imagine. Private campgrounds, state, national parks, plus points of interest like Cabela's, Walmart's, gas stations, veterinary clinics, grocery stores, you name it. You can find everything on there. So it makes trip planning a breeze. And then your trip goes over to the RV Life app right on your phone. And so we use our phone as our GPS while we're rolling down the road. It couldn't be easier to use. We highly recommend it. If you're interested in getting RV Trip Wizard, you can get a 30% discount. Just head on over to RVblogger.com, scroll about halfway down on the front page of our website, sign up for our newsletters, and in our newsletters we send out discount codes all the time. RV Trip Wizard is one of them, but we have a ton of great companies that we work with where we've gone to them and gotten discounts for our viewers and subscribers. So be sure to do that if you're interested in saving a few bucks on some of your memberships and different camping gear that you want to use. Back to the dinette though, this table also folds away, so not only do the chairs fold away, but the table itself will also fold down, and that's how you would travel down the road. I wouldn't leave the table in the up position, and then your chairs both stow away. Or if you're not using your dinette and you just need some extra room in here, I don't know why, but you might want to have it so everything's just stowed away, it gives you extra floor space inside of here as well. Now, a couple of other nice features to note with the dinette table down, it's just easier to see it. You've got a receptacle here, plus you have a USB and C port here, and then just a 12-volt plug as well. And you have this same exact setup on the other side behind the chair there. So plenty of outlets. So if you're sitting here using your computer or you need to charge any electronic devices at all, you've got plenty of stuff here to go ahead and charge that up. Down below that, we have a storage cabinet on each side, and it's about, I don't know, 5 inches deep, but you can store a few things on each side. They're just trying to maximize every inch of space in here that they possibly can. Now, one other nice feature to point out is that one reason it's so roomy in here is because your Murphy bed and couch, as well as this section of the kitchen, are all in this slide out. This is about 3 feet deep. And so when it's in the in position, while you're rolling down the road, maybe you want to stop and get some lunch or use the bathroom. The good news is you can access everything, even with this all the way in. Now your dinette would need to be in the stowed position, which means the table would have to be down, chairs put away and stowed, but you would have room to walk past that. And that way you can get to your stove, your microwave. The sink you would need to stand here to be able to use, but it's certainly plenty usable for that. And you can also access your refrigerator, and you can get to your bathroom. So a lot of folks want to know that when the slide out's in, can I access everything? The answer is yes, you can. There's one little weird thing though, and that is if you're sitting in the driver's seat or the passenger seat, you can't really get out of those seats from inside the RV and then walk back here. You actually have to get out and then come in through the side door to be able to access everything. So, I mean, unless it's raining really hard, that's really not a big deal to me. It's just kind of how it's made. And in a smaller RV that's, you know, under 26 feet long, that's just kind of how it goes. Now in the kitchen area here, they have a really great size microwave back here. It's actually a convection microwave oven. So in addition to microwaving, you can bake things in here. We have a convection in our RV, and I love it. I've mastered the art of baking pizzas in there. I can bake cookies, anything. So it's really a great feature to have. Down below that on your cooktop, you have an induction burner here and one propane burner. And then down below that, we have 3 really good sized drawers for your kitchen utensils, pots and pans, all that good stuff. The top drawer is lit up, which is a nice feature. The bottom drawers are not, but you know, they are really good size, so you'll be able to access everything in there very easily. The rest of the kitchen area here has a nice large cabinet over top. They've done a nice job in here too. They have like this felt carpeting on the bottom shelf, and that keeps things from bouncing around and making a lot of noise. There is no shelf in here, so you could either put your own shelving system in here, or like we do, we use plastic bins to store things in so we can see inside the bins and know what's there and then pull them out as needed. So that's easy enough. Down below that, everything is lit up really nicely here with this LED light strip. You've got a little basket here for some of your kitchen utensils, nice window on the side, tower of power for your coffee pot or toaster, and then a nice big round deep single bowl sink. To the left of that, if you need a little extra countertop space, you can have an extend-a-top here. And there's also even more space down underneath here with a little basket on the drawer here, so you can stow things away that way. Maybe some spices and things could go in there. So not a bad setup at all. One other thing I want to point out is the water pump switch, which is really important, is right here by the sink. So it's in a very, very convenient location. So when you need to turn it on, you can. Just across from the sink is where the refrigerator and freezer are located. This is a 12-volt refrigerator. All that means is that it's going to run on the battery power in the RV when you're in travel mode or boondocking. And then when you get to your campground and you plug in, it automatically converts over to just running off of electricity from the shore power. Great size freezer in here with an adjustable shelf. And then down below, a very good size refrigerator. A lot of these shelves are adjustable as well. Plenty of room inside of here, as you can see. Next to that, they have these really great cabinets that pull out, and you can stow away all kinds of stuff in there, but it's very well done, and it does have these little felt bottoms in here as well to help cut down on the noise and rattling while you're rolling on down the road. Now here we are in the bathroom all the way in the back of this Class C RV, and I'm standing in the shower like I usually do. Let's get some measurements in here in terms of headspace. There is a little skylight in this shower that gives me a few extra inches of headroom in here. So when I'm standing in here, we've got about 6 feet 4 inches of headroom in here, and the regular floor to ceiling height outside of the shower is, gosh, almost 80 inches. So that's about 6 feet 8 inches or 6 inches of headspace in here. So for you taller folks, this might be a very good RV to consider. Now the shower itself is a nice setup. I love the shower surround in here. They've got the corner setup for your shower controls, and your wand is removable, so that's always a good feature. Up top here, they have a bar that you can pop in place or remove it as needed. But if you have wet bathing suits or towels, you can hang them up in here to dry, so that's a really nice feature. Also in here, there is a built-in seat in the shower, so you can sit down while you're showering or put your leg up here and shave your legs if you'd like to do that. So really just a very good setup. And then finally, it has a retractable shower door, which we think is a great idea. Now, here I am outside of the shower, and just outside of the shower, you've got this really nice sized wardrobe closet in here. You'll notice that it's got a light inside. It also has a bar that hangs. You can remove the bar if you don't want it in here, but this will be a great spot to hang up all of your clothes and garments. Behind the shower over here, there's also an additional shelf or two that you can use for some storage. And then on this side, this door slides open too. There's an adjustable shelf up top and then a couple of drawers down below that. So there's plenty of room in here for all of your clothes storage. Now, just next to the wardrobe storage area is where your sink and vanity is located back here. There is an electrical outlet right next to the sink, so if you need to plug in a hairdryer or shaver, you can easily do that. Nice big mirror here, so if you want to check yourself out before you get on out and start shooting video in the morning, you can do that. There's also a couple of hand cloth hangers or something like that. It's in the shape of a W, so you get that whole Winnebago feel going on in here. That's kind of nice. Next to that, we've got a nice size cabinet here, again with adjustable shelving inside. And then on the back of the door, and this door just slides back and forth, but it does have a couple of towel hooks on there as well. And then finally, when I'm here sitting on the commode, I'm not going to pass the elbow test on my right, but on my left-hand side, we have plenty of room. And there's a bonus cabinet in here, and it's underneath of your sink. And guess what's on here? That's where your TP roller will be found. Now here we are outside of this RV, and I'm all the way at the back of the RV, and I'm underneath of the wardrobe closet that we just took a look at. Down below the wardrobe closet is this gigantic storage compartment. And as you can see, it's got 3 doors to it, so one on each side and then one on the very back. So everything back here is very, very easily accessible. There's also a couple of lights back here. There's also 12-volt power and regular electrical outlets. There's even cable connections back here. So if you wanted to set up a TV outside of your rig, you have all the connections that you need to be able to do that. They also have a sliding D-ring set up in here, so if you needed to secure some items back here, you could do that as well. Now on the camp side of the RV by the entry door, there's another storage compartment there. And then on the driver's side of the RV, on the slide out behind the kitchen range and microwave, there's a very tall storage compartment there too. So there's a whole lot of storage with this particular Class C RV. Hey guys, let us know which one of these Class C RVs you like the most and why in the comments down below. We would love to hear from all of you and hear all your thoughts on these amazing Class C RVs. But if you want to check out even more Class C RVs for couples, just click the box down below, and Susan and I will see you in the next video.